Alright, so let's get to making this risotto. By the way, thank you so much to Eastside Marios for sponsoring today's video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with the rice, because the rice is what gives it the texture as well as also the added taste. So this is pre-cooked rice that I didn't I cooked it in the Instapot, but I didn't use the pressure cover for, and it didn't cook all the way through properly in the 15-minute time frame. So this is how you get to make risotto rice with rice that's already been pre-cooked. So this is not the type of rice that I'm using, doesn't come pre-cooked. This is the actual full grains, and you have to use the pressure top on the Instapot in order to cook this rice through completely. Otherwise it will never ever be cooked unless you do what I'm about to do now, which is risotto. That's the only way to get it to cook through completely. Okay? So I'm going to be doing it in the slow cooker. This should be done by 5 p.m. It's about 11:30 a.m. right now. So this risotto should be done by about 5:30 p.m. And I'm using the entire container of rice because I want to have a meal prepped dinner for about an entire week. Okay? This is the sauce that I made yesterday. So we're gonna add this sauce in. I'm gonna add the sauce in, and I'm just gonna capture some water in here to put in the pot. So we'll put the rest of the sauce in the pot in the water. And you don't want, and from what I've heard is you don't want any extra water, otherwise it will become rice soup, and you don't want it to become rice soup unless you do voodoo magic. You don't want it to become rice soup unless you do voodoo magic. Just saying, you don't want to do rice soup. So you basically want it to be that texture, because the water from the rice that it was cooked in the Instapot will give it its extra added advantage. The slow cooker will draw from the already cooked rice, therefore giving it more water than what is necessary. Now this is meat. I've been trying to cook this meat for a while, but it looks like today's the perfect day to cook this meat. So I'm just gonna add the meat on top, and I don't want any extra seasoning because it will be too seasoned. Once again, unless you do voodoo magic. I don't. So I don't want it to be extra seasoned. No. That's why those who do voodoo magic always say extra seasoning, please. That's what they say. That's what they say. Extra seasoning, please. Is not seasoned enough for those who do voodoo magic, because they can't taste the food. They cannot taste the food. Now, upon halfway cooking, by about 3 p.m., I will be checking and taste testing to see if I need to add extra seasonings at the 3 p.m. hour. But for right now, it look raw because we just beginning to cook it. That's why it look raw and bland. It ain't cooked yet because it ain't cooked yet. We just started. Check Get back with me in 3 hours and then we'll discuss the difference between does it look cooked or does it not look cooked at 3 p.m. I'll see you then. Bye!